Picture this. Somewhere on this planet, in a place no travel magazine has ever placed on its cover, a stretch of dry ground near a desert valley holds rocks that slide across a flat lakebed at night, leaving long trails behind them as if they are walking. Somewhere else, deep in the Amazon, a river boils at 90 degrees Celsius in rainforest that has no volcano anywhere near it. Somewhere else, in a quiet town in New Mexico, a low-frequency hum vibrates through the houses of a handful of residents, and the world's most sensitive microphones can barely catch it. These things are real. They have been measured. They have been documented. And despite all that, no one can fully explain them. That is the world we are about to enter. Not a world of fiction, a world of stone, of fire, of water, of seafloor chambers, of carved deserts, and ancient hilltop circles carved by people who did not know how to farm. This is the world of places where the world's most advanced instruments have been pointed, studied, and scanned for more than 50 years, and the planet has refused to give a clean answer. For decades, popular explanations have surfaced. Many of them sound confident. Almost all of them are wrong. Some sound reasonable enough that you will leave this video believing them, at least until you read the original papers. And then you will look again at the photograph, at the satellite imagery, at the layered sediment, and you will wonder out loud, how is it possible that we still do not know what this is? Here is what is also true. Each of the 10 mysteries on this list has been studied by serious institutions, scans, excavations, peer-reviewed publications. We are not talking about internet folklore. We are talking about calibrated instruments, university laboratories, and decades of work. Yet in 2026, more than a century later, these places remain stubborn. Most have a credible working theory. A few have nothing. All of them are worth your attention. So stay with me. Stay through every entry. By the time we reach the final layer of this countdown, you will understand why even the most confident minds on this planet still keep one locked drawer in their office for the things they cannot solve. And the final entry, number 1, is where that drawer opens all the way. Number 10, the Bermuda Triangle. The triangle is an imaginary shape drawn roughly between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. It is not an official region of land. It is a footprint that writers first emphasized in the mid-20th century, after a number of high-profile disappearances. Flight 19, a Navy training squadron of 5 aircraft, vanished in 1945 during a routine run, and none of them returned. The freighter Marine Sulphur Queen disappeared in 1963, leaving behind a few empty lifeboats drifting in calm seas. Countless small vessels and private aircraft have vanished there. The popular story went supernatural, with breathless books describing strange compasses and unexplained energy fields. Science rolled its eyes and pointed to ordinary weather, navigation error, and busy shipping lanes. Then in 2016 and in subsequent surveys, researchers mapping the seafloor began finding something new. Vast craters in the sediment, some over 30 meters across, surrounded by fields of frozen methane gas locked in the seabed as methane hydrates. Several teams, including Norwegian researchers studying similar craters off Norway, proposed that sudden releases of this gas could, in a single moment, displace the water beneath a vessel. Buoyancy would collapse. An aircraft could lose altitude over porous air. No one has yet proven this is the cause of every incident. But this is the first real wind and water mechanism consistent with sudden disappearances. The mystery remains. Why do some incidents happen in conditions that exclude both storm and gas bursts? Is there a combination of factors still to be understood? Or is something invisible still in play? Sail on with me now deep into Siberia. Number 9, the Potomsky Crater. In the Bodaibo region of Siberia, surrounded by some of the harshest forest on Earth, an unusual hill rises, roughly 160 meters wide and 50 meters high, shaped like a broken ring, with a smaller cone sitting inside it like a fractured second crater. Local Evenk and Yakut peoples have long called it the nest of the fire eagle, and they do not climb it. Russian geologists discovered the structure in 1949 after a forest fire cleared the canopy and revealed the strange stratigraphy beneath. When scientists sampled the interior, they found no impact glass, no meteoritic iron, nothing that would confirm a clean meteor strike. Yet the shape looks like an impact event, just one that has been weathered and infilled by time. Soviet scientists later suggested it might be a phreatic explosion, where trapped volcanic gases erupted through a weakened zone. But Siberia is not a volcanically active region. There is no nearby volcanic pipe. There is no obvious heat source that anyone can point to. Some researchers have connected the timing to the Great Tunguska event of 1908, suggesting a delayed fragment may have detonated near the surface. Others have argued the structure is far older, possibly 500 years or more. No model has yet convinced everyone, and no expedition has produced a single clean story for the internal signature. A mystery with a shape that should not exist in this geology. Climb down from Siberia for a moment because number 8 is the opposite kind of fire. Number 8, the door to hell. In a flat stretch of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, a circle of flame the size of a soccer field has burned uninterrupted for over 50 years. In 1971, Soviet prospectors drilling for natural gas struck a hidden cavern. The ground beneath their rig collapsed, leaving a circular pit roughly 70 meters wide and 20 meters deep. Methane poured out uncontrollably. Engineers, fearing the spread of the gas to nearby villages, made a decision to burn it off. They expected the fire to last only a few weeks. It has not lasted a few weeks. It has lasted the rest of their lives and into the next generation. Locals now call the pit the door to hell, the gates of hell, Darvaza. The crater's fame has reached beyond the region. Tourists travel to stand at the edge of a literal sustained desert burn, and travel writers have made Darvaza a fixture of the modern atlas. This crater is a man-made mystery. There is no supernatural cavern. We made it ourselves by drilling. Yet we cannot put it out. In recent years, authorities have attempted partial extinguishment and containment. The results are contested. The flame is, in a sense, a geological self-portrait of human ambition, a wound that keeps burning, a mystery that proves we do not always know what our actions will set in motion. Leave the heat now, for a hum you can barely feel. Number 7. Number 7. The Taos hum. In the small town of Taos, New Mexico, a low-frequency vibration has been reported by residents since at least the early 1990s. Some hear it indoors at night, some hear it outdoors only. Some do not hear it at all. The frequency, when it has been measured, sits between 32 and 80 hertz, with very small modulating tones around it. That is at the very edge of human hearing, important, because it means most listeners do not record a phantom noise from hearing damage. The hum is not fading. The U.S. military and partner universities have sent field teams. A 1993 investigation by Los Alamos National Laboratory and the University of New Mexico recorded the signal with sensitive instruments but could not match it to any specific local source. Theories over the years have ranged from factory machinery at a distance to ocean-driven seismic waves passing through the mantle, to atmospheric ducting, to honest sensor bias. Yet the residents' reports continue, year after year, consistent, low, occasional. The hum has been reported in a small number of other places around the world. The largest cluster remains Taos. Often the mystery is not the size of the thing. Often the mystery is that something simple cannot be anchored. Stay close. We move now to a desert valley in Peru for number 6. Number 6, the Nazca Lines. In the dry, windswept plains of southern Peru, between the Andes and the coast, hundreds of figures have been scratched into the volcanic ash of the Nazca Plateau over the span of roughly 2,000 years. Some are straight lines kilometers long. Some are figurative shapes, a hummingbird, a spider, a condor with wingspan longer than a school bus, a humanoid with strangely waving arms. For most of the 20th century, the count of known geoglyphs sat at around 358. Then in 2022 and 2023, an international team combined high-resolution aerial imagery, drone mapping, and an artificial intelligence model trained on the existing geoglyphs. The result, formally published in 2024, was the discovery of 303 new figurative glyphs that humans had never before mapped. The known count had essentially doubled in less than a year. Why is that a shock? Because the obvious questions are still now the right ones. Who created them? Was it the original Nazca culture alone, or multiple groups across centuries? What were they for? Functional astronomical alignments, ceremonial processional routes, ritual drawings made visible from ritual points, or signals connected to water and fertility in one of the driest regions on Earth. No one knows for certain. The strange local environment, very little wind, almost no rain, helped preserve the lines for nearly 2 millennia. The mystery is not created. The mystery is rediscovered. Every fresh survey makes the question larger. Set the desert image aside now, and we enter a rainforest for number 5. Number 5, the Sinai Timpishka, the boiling river of the Amazon. Deep in the Peruvian Amazon, far from any volcano, far from any documented thermal spring region, a section of river runs at temperatures near 90 degrees Celsius, hot enough to kill animals that fall into it and to scald unwary visitors. The stretch runs several kilometers. Local oral traditions have described the river for generations. Then, in 2011, geoscientist Andres Russo, while still a doctoral student, went looking for the river and confirmed its existence. The heat is real, the temperature is real, the river is genuinely boiling. There is no clear, shallow magmatic source beneath it. Geothermal gradients in the Amazon basin are normally low, far too low to support such a surface phenomenon on their own. Russo has proposed a faulted geothermal system where deep heat from the Earth's interior rises through fractures to surface waters. Later fieldwork has sharpened this picture, suggesting a large, possibly non-volcanic hydrothermal system. The exact mechanism is still under refinement. The local folklore and the actual science have not fully aligned. A natural boiling river is theoretically possible, but a river of this length and this temperature outside a volcanic context remains rare and mostly unexplained. The Amazon is full of legends. The Amazon is not usually a place that boils. Climb up out of the Amazon now, across the Andes, and we arrive at number 4. Number 4, Puma Punku. At the southern shore of Lake Titicaca, on the high plateau of Bolivia, sit ancient ceremonial ruins whose stones have provoked stone-cutting puzzlement for more than a century. At Puma Punku, which is part of the larger Tiwanaku complex, archaeologists have cataloged hundreds of stone blocks of andesite and sandstone. Some of the largest blocks weigh over 100 metric tons. The H-blocks, so named for their distinctive shape, are precision-cut pieces of andesite, machined with extremely regular surfaces, fine interlocking profiles, and even small drilled holes and dead-straight grooves. The standard Tiwanaku toolkit recovered at the site, copper and bronze tools, wooden mallets, stone hammers, is not sufficient to cut such hard stone with such regularity at that scale, with that much precision. Modern engineers have replicated some of the cuts only with power tools. Ancient methods have not been convincingly reconstructed. Yet there is no surviving native tradition that explains how the cuts were made. Did the precision vanish with time, leaving only fragments of the technique? Did we underestimate the tool set that has survived? Or was the technology of the builders more advanced than scholars have assumed? The blocks are real, the cuts are real, the precision is measurable. The explanation is not. Follow me now to a hill on a flat plain in southern Turkey for number 3. Number 3, Göbekli Tepe. In the rolling hills near Şanlıurfa, in southeastern Turkey, a circle of great T-shaped stone pillars rises from a flat limestone plateau carved with reliefs of foxes, snakes, scorpions, and birds. Klaus Schmidt, a German archaeologist with the German Archaeological Institute, walked the site in 1994 and recognized something extraordinary. Subsequent excavations and radiocarbon dating placed the construction at roughly 9,500 BCE, more than 6,000 years before the stone circles of Britain, and roughly 12,000 years before the first civilizations traditionally recognized in textbooks. There is no writing at Göbekli Tepe. There is no ceramic assemblage showing the typical early Neolithic toolkit of the region. The pillars were conceived and built by people who were not yet farmers, by semi-mobile hunter-gatherers. Yet the level of organization is monumental by any standard. The site's purpose is debated. Some interpretations suggest a ritual center, a gathering place for dispersed communities. Others have argued that the hilltop was eventually deliberately buried, a closing of a memory, a way of putting the past away. The bones and tools and carvings exist. The meaning remains fluid. We can date, we cannot fully explain. We can stand in the presence of a community that seems to have built a temple before it had a village. Skip across history now, because we are going back to one of the most recognizable monuments on Earth for number 2. Number 2, the Great Pyramid's Big Void. The Pyramid of Khufu on the Giza Plateau has been climbed, scanned, and argued about since antiquity. In 2017, a team called Scan Pyramids, drawing on tomography, infrared thermography, and 3 different cosmic ray imaging systems, announced a previously unknown cavity above the Grand Gallery inside the pyramid. The void is approximately 30 meters long and on average more than 2 meters in cross-section. It is the largest internal structure found inside the Great Pyramid since the 19th century. The dataset is robust. Multiple independent teams observed the anomaly from different angles using different techniques, yet the void remains unseen in the sense that no human has ever walked into it. There is no confirmed doorway. There is no confirmed passage that humans can use. The function is unknown. It could be a structural relaxation chamber, a sealed interior volume, a hauling gallery, or a ceremonial space. Subsequent studies have hinted at smaller voids within the smaller pyramids of the Giza complex, adding layers to the picture. The data are robust. The meaning is not. The certainty of the anomaly, the scale of the unseen, make the Great Pyramid's hidden volume the most cinematic of the unconfirmed chambers on this countdown. And now, the deepest mystery of all. Number 1. The Yonaguni Monument. 25 meters below the surface of the Pacific, off the westernmost inhabited island of Japan, a vast stepped rock formation stretches, with some sections measuring roughly 50 meters across. It looks like terraces, like stairs, like a tower, like a stone monument of the kind humans have carved for thousands of years. Some divers say the geometry is too regular, the steps too consistent, the layout too intentional. Others say the entire formation is sandstone laid down by geological processes, faulted by tectonic shifts, and shaped by the sea into something patterned by accident. The legend begins in 1986, when diver Kihachiro Aratake, looking for sharks, reported a strange staircase beneath the waves. Since then, the marine geologist Masaki Kimura of the University of the Ryukyus has championed the man-made reading, repeated dives and repeated surveys, producing layered visual symmetry that looks strikingly architectural. The mainstream geological view favors layered sandstone, natural joining patterns, and ongoing marine erosion. If the terraces really do sit at 25 meters below modern sea level, they must have been at or above sea level at some point during the last major post-glacial rise, somewhere between roughly 12 and 10,000 years before present. A structure that old, raised by nature, and shaped by accident would explain the staircase as relic geology. A structure that old, built and submerged, would force history further back than scholars are comfortable placing it. No formal excavation has yet been permitted. The dating remains contested. The feature remains eloquent. Mystery of the countdown. And there we have it. 10 mysteries. 10 places where the Earth has refused to be fully written down. Methane craters off Florida with no clean culprit. A crater in Siberia that should not exist in that geology. The boiling river of the Amazon that should not boil. The Nazca Plateau doubling in mapped content in less than a year. The Tao's hum that scientists could record but could not source. Puma Punku with cuts more precise than the documented tools can explain. Derwez, a flame that we lit ourselves and cannot put out. Gobekli Tepe, a temple without a village. The Great Pyramid's big void hidden in plain sight. The Yonaguni Monument, a staircase or a sandstone step 25 meters down, dividing the experts. Consider what we did not say. We did not say that scientists have given up. We said they have not solved. There are elegant working theories that may one day be proven or refuted. There are patiently built hypotheses. There are also places where the data itself is sparse, where weather and time have done too good a job of obscuring the answer. None of what we listed is supernatural. None of it stands outside the laws of physics, but all of it stands at the edges of those laws, in the corners of this planet, with the screens of the scientists we trust saying quietly, "We are still working on it." And that is the takeaway. We, as a species, have put a rover on Mars. We have walked samples from the deep of the Mariana Trench area. We have detected gravitational waves from the early universe. Yet some of the things a 5-minute drive from a paved road in New Mexico, or a sandy hill outside Shanlurfa, or a quarter-mile down in the Pacific, remain mysteries. That reality, that we are still discovering on our own planet, is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that the planet is bigger than our understanding, and that is what makes Earth the planet worth studying for as long as we are here. If you want a particular mystery explored in more depth, leave it in the comments. Subscribe so you do not miss the next. Stay curious. See you on the next one.